Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidil anbiya wal mursaleen wa ba'd. With the month of Ramadan just around the corner, there's a very beautiful dua that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would recite, and it's something that can enhance the beauty of the month of Ramadan. He would say, Allahumma sallimna li Ramadan wa sallim Ramadan lana wa tasallamhu lana. It's a very beautiful dua in which Rasulullah ﷺ basically says, Ya Allah, sallimna li Ramadan. Make us presentable for the month of Ramadan. Make the month of Ramadan accessible to us and allow us to enter it with afiyah. I'm going to say that again. Oh Allah, allow us to be presentable for Ramadan and allow Ramadan to be accessible to us, and may we go through the month with afiyah and productivity. The reason this is so important is, sometimes they have there's this English proverb that says, when you have a candle, it's oftentimes darkest in the bottom of the candle. So you have a candle, there's a light on top of the candle, you would expect what's closest to the candle gets part of that light, but the bottom of the light always remains dark. Which basically means sometimes we could be in the middle of the masjid, we could be in the middle of Ramadan, we could see people fasting around us, but without even realizing that we're deprived of the true benefits of Ramadan. So the dua that we make in these final hours as we're slowly approaching the month of Ramadan is, Ya Allah, make us presentable for Ramadan. You know, when a guest comes to your house, you don't want to be dressed in your banyan, you don't want to be wearing your izar, you don't want to have tattered clothing, you don't want your house to be in a disarray. Somebody, the women folk, they get upset that, oh, you're bringing your friends over, at least let me know half an hour before so I can make the house. If I tell my spouse that my friends are all coming over in 2 minutes, she's going to be very upset. The house is in a tip, it doesn't even look presentable. Why do they want that time? So they can clean up the house, make it presentable. There are guests coming. So on this end, as we're hosting the month of Ramadan, we need to be presentable. That, am I physically ready? Am I mentally, spiritually ready? That's the first part. The second part, وَسَلِّمْ Ramadan lana, and make the month of Ramadan accessible to us. Because you can have guests coming to your home and not every guest appreciates you. I have a friend, I invite him to my house, but right before he comes, I get in an argument with him. He's going to come to my house and oblige, but the nature of our conversation is going to be very tense. He's not going to like it. So, وَسَلِّمْ Ramadan lana. So make Ramadan also a two-way road where I benefit from Ramadan and Ramadan is accessible to me. And allow me to go through the whole month with afiyah. So when we think about these last few hours, or whenever it is officially announced, but not too far off, let's just remember that it's like a guest. I don't want my house, myself, to look in a manner that's not presentable. I don't want somebody coming to my house. I have big guests coming to my house, and I'm not even dressed appropriately. I got dirty clothes, my work clothes. It's not appropriate. But equally important is when the guest comes, I want my guest to feel at home. I want my guests to engage with me, to appreciate my presence. And so one is when the guest comes to my house. One is I entertain the guest. But the second is the time that the guest is in my house, I want it to go smooth. So mashallah, I have the food ready, my house is ready, everything is fine. I've done my part. The guest is coming, he's presentable, he brings something, that is done. But the moment he comes to my house, imagine that guest and myself, we get into a fight, or something happens, or he gets harmed. So I was presentable, he was presentable, but our encounter did not yield any benefits. So we want all three. I'm presentable, the month of Ramadan is accessible, and the time that we have in the month of Ramadan is productive as well. So these are the three things we want, and we make dua. Ya Allah, make me presentable for the month of Ramadan. Ameen. Ya Allah, make the month of Ramadan presentable for me. Ameen. And Ya Allah, allow me to go through this month with afiyah in khair. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Jazakumullah khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.